Good morning. Welcome to another beautiful day to be alive, to be thankful and grateful for the opportunity to make a difference in our own personal lives and possibly make a difference in other people's lives and even our world. You know, right now we are living in a deceived-minded culture. Our culture is doing a great job of making us believe that we need to follow a certain structure to living our life, i.e. we need to go to school, get an education, get married, buy a house, settle down, work towards retirement, work towards building a nest egg, possibly save some money for future children's education, and then to die. That's basically the approach we have and the conditioning we have. But it's a deceived culture because what we're doing is disempowering people to live within their strengths, within their talents, within their skills, within their ability to maximize their potential that has something that's connected to their passion and gives them purpose. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we have to come to grips with is that if we continue on this verge of being deceived, we are creating the current epidemic and culture that we see today. We are creating the culture of increased violence. We are creating a culture of increasing drugs and alcohol use. We are creating a culture where we're at war, not with other people, but we are at war with ourselves. We are battling ourselves internally, and we are battling ourselves externally. And someone has to die in a war. There's no true winner in a war. But we tend to think that if we are at war with ourselves, with other people, that there's a winner, and there isn't. We are seeing people become more medically treated for things that don't necessarily require a medical model approach. It requires a humanistic approach, being able to talk to people, to know people, to hear what people have to say, to identify the root cause, to identify the unique challenges that they're facing, and then make an assessment on other resources that we need to intervene and help an individual. But what we tend to do in our deceived culture today is if we say we have an issue, right away we give you a drug. And yet that drug will create another problem down the road that you need another drug for. And we are seeing that happen. We're seeing it in our education system. I'm not sure about certain parts of the world, but I know in certain ways of our education system, we can't really fail students anymore. Students are empowered and almost entitled to believe that an education is free. They don't have to earn it. They have to just get it and beg for it, and they'll get whatever it takes. Welcome, welcome. Thank you, Periscope, for checking in on me. Everybody checking in, thank you. You know, and people are at a point in their life where desperation is setting in to the point that they become mentally destructive. They're destroying themselves from within. They're destroying their hearts, their minds, their souls, their existence, their opportunities, their freedoms. They're destroying everything that is given to them to a certain degree just because of where we live in certain parts of the world, and they're not taking advantage of it. They're disadvantaging themselves. They're harming themselves. And no matter what happens in this world, if we're seeing it in our education system, in our job force, in our families, it's just because we've been deceived. We've been fooled. People are insulting our intelligence every day, trying to tell us that things are going to get better. You know what's going to happen? If we continue to be deceived, we are going to kill ourselves. We are literally going to kill our dreams. We are going to kill our passion. We're going to kill our purpose. We're going to kill our potential. And then we are going to try to compromise ourselves to fit in what the world says we should be. And that is a danger. So here's my solution or recommendation moving forward. Let's look at what you as an individual have to offer the world. What are your strengths? What are your talents? What are your dreams and aspirations that you can work towards? Allow yourself to rewrite the book of not just your life, but the deception of what the world's telling us to be today. We cannot fit in what the world says. We have to leverage what the world is giving us, but at the same time put ourselves in a strategic position to maximize our passion, purpose, and potential by understanding who we are, not just from within, but also who we are with the talents and skills and attributes that make us unique, that give us an opportunity to feel valuable and offer something that is valuable to the world. That's how we start to heal ourselves and heal our world, is by making sure we put ourselves in a unique position, not just to succeed, but to achieve. Life is not about perfection, it's about improvements. The best way to get improvements is by understanding what is it that you want, why do you want it, what is it that you have that are your strengths, what are your insufficiencies, and what do you need to strengthen those insufficiencies to help you maximize your potential. We are all on this earth for a limited period of time, but we are all on this earth not to follow the trends, not to follow that credentials, status, title, income is to define us. It's more importantly for us to realize that life is about defining our existence. How did we contribute to the world? What did we do to contribute to the world? And making sure that we leave no rock unturned to the point that we maximize what we have been blessed with and gifted with, in order to make sure that we are remembered and not forgotten. It's easy to forget people who live with a status quo thinking. It's easy to forget people who try to fit into the worldview of how we should live, and yet not find a way how to live on our own terms. We don't want to follow the trends. What we want to do is create a trend. The trend is you are the brand, you are a walking commodity, you are an asset, you are someone who has value. And because you have value, you have a unique fingerprint that only means that you are one of a kind. And because you are one of a kind, you have an opportunity and an obligation to make sure you find out what that means. Good morning, Sleepwalker. Walker, thanks for joining in. Thanks for coming in on Periscope. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Welcome, welcome. So because you are one of a kind, let me conclude by doing this. I want to make sure that everybody out there who gets this message realizes that there has to be a pause for the cause. The pause for the cause, ladies and gentlemen, is about understanding you from within and understanding your strengths, your values, your attributes to ensure that you are not being deceived by the worldview of things. You're not getting caught up in the CNNs, the Anderson Coopers, the worldview of what's going on in the world and allowing the world to disappoint you. It's interesting how people will lose faith and lose a sense of belief just because of what's being put out in the world, and we're trying to force ourselves to fit into what the world says. So as an example, you go out and buy a home and you can't afford it, but it's good for you to buy a home. It's a great investment. A home is just as much of an asset as it is as a liability. You have to be strategic about it. You have to understand. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. You have to understand, how does it work for you? Because when you are not putting yourself in a strategic position to ensure that you're appreciating and maximizing your gifts and talents, you're just doing what the world's telling you to do. Don't get caught up into that. Focus on yourself. Focus on what makes you great. Focus on what brings you to the point of making sure that when you die empty and you leave everything above ground and take nothing with you underground. Life is too short. Hi, Russia, thanks for coming in. Life is too short for us to waste our time trying to force ourselves to be something that the world wants us to be. It is time for us, ladies and gentlemen, to stop this from happening. It is an epidemic, and it's a hidden agenda based upon the powers that be, the people of influence. It could be based on government, depending on where you are in the world. I don't know. It could be based on your community. But truthfully, we are being more instructed in life, but we are not allowing ourselves to be inspired by life. We have to learn how to be inspired because of the deception. The deception has to come from you being ready, willing, and able to maximize what you have. I'm not paranoid, I'm just passionate. It's all about passion, ladies and gentlemen. I have so much passion for my topics that I can't help bringing that across that way. Passion is everything in this world. If you don't have it, you lose it, you have nothing. So everybody, I want you all to have a great, great day wherever you are in the world. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the blessing of just being alive. Appreciate your value, appreciate your worth, and never allow yourself to be compromised by the worldview. Focus on where you need to be, who you want to become. Have yourselves an awesome day. Thank you all for the support, and we'll be in touch again.